Hello everyone, my name is Pat. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm finally bringing you guys my favorite mangas slash manhwas and mentioning a light novel that I read. What mangas you guys know already, probably what they are. They're graphic novels. And manhwas are kind of like mangas, but they are Korean. The manhwas that I read are Korean and they are released online initially. And once like a whole season is out or so, they would release it. Some would be released in print form. I actually want to buy some of the print forms that I'm currently reading, but I'm only going to be talking about the mangas and the manhwas that I read and finished. So I currently have a lot, probably in the hundreds, in terms of like the manhwas that I read that I'm currently reading that are still not done. But I will be talking about the ones that are finished, sort of, and get you guys to read them as well because I love these. So I'm gonna start actually with light novels. So light novels are similar to manhwas. They are novels released chapter by chapter initially online, and a lot of them also get published as, you know, as say like a whole season or a whole volume is ended. And a lot of light novels are turned into manhwas. The light novels that I'm reading are Korean novels, so a lot of them are turned into manhwas, and I really enjoy like kind of seeing and reading like the original novels to how it's interpreted into manhwas and kind of like rereading those stories, because a lot of the times they're like just so easy to read and so much fun. So the light novel that I finished is the first edition or the first volume of Daddy, I Don't Want to Marry. And yes, the titles are gonna be like this. They're very long, very wordy, and kind of intriguing, but also it tells you a lot about the plot. So Daddy, I Don't Want to Marry is kind of like what you would call a time travel genre. So the main character, Javel, or Javelian, she goes back in time after she kills herself, after she was accused of poisoning the princess's fiance. And when she goes back in time, she vows to change her future, to change her life. Didn't have a very good relationship with her father. In the past, her father had sent the crown prince, who was known to be very brutal and bloodthirsty, to kill her when she was still in prison. And she commits suicide before she was killed by the crown prince. And then she goes back in time, and she's now trying to change her life by first breaking up with her fiance because her fiance is trash and never really cared about her, and 2, avoiding her father and trying not to anger her father, and 3 is to prevent herself from getting into the path of the crown prince because the crown prince was going to kill her in her past life. And it's kind of like a lot of misunderstandings because we see truly how her father sees her and who the crown prince really is and what really happened during the past, and I really enjoyed it. First volume is the only one that's out. The whole novel is completed, but like the official English translations only has the first volume out, and so far in the book that I've read, we haven't really gotten into the main plot, still an intro. So what I know of the story is from the manhwas. So I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of misunderstandings, and I totally love the art for the manhwa. So if I could, I would put a picture up here, but that's the light novel that I'm reading. It is dark because it's talking about getting killed, but also it's very light and very funny because again, there's a lot of misunderstandings. There's also a lot of like really emotional things that different parties, different sides kind of hide from each other, and which causes the further misunderstandings. Again, I really enjoyed it. I will definitely continue reading it as the volumes come out. I think the second volume, the third volume are going to be coming out this year, so I'm going to be reading that as well. Let's go to the manhwas. So I have 2 manhwas that I finished last year. First one is Unholy Blood. This is a vampire kind of dystopian manhwa. Premise of this one is the main character is a pure vampire and she hides her identity from other people because there has been a lot of stigma towards vampires because of their own actions, but also because, you know, they drink blood and they're scary. Somebody starts threatening her and the people that she cares about. She joins up with this detective of the police who is like the head of this vampire investigation section of the police to investigate who is hunting her and why, and they discover the start of the existence of vampires, because vampires only existed started to exist I think 10 years ago, how they came to be and why Hayan is the main character is being targeted. This is very dark, this is very action-packed, but also heart-wrenching. The friendship formed here are so precious. Like it's kind of like an episodic in terms of like the villains that were introduced here, like slowly, like with each episode or so we learn about them and why they chose to be vampires. We learn their own stories, and there's discussions obviously of like prejudices and stigma, atonement like for mistakes, and a lot of guilt from different parties, and like there's like an exploration of that. Also family. So I really enjoyed this one, made me cry. a lot. This is very fun to read. This is available on the Webtoons app. This is completed already, and if you want to read this one, I think you have about a month left before this becomes a daily pass. So a daily pass means is that you can only read one episode every day for free, and if you want to read ahead, you have to pay with coins, and you have to buy those coins. Right now it's available, all of it is free. The ones that are ongoing, there are free episodes every week. There are 5 fast pass episodes, which means that these 5 are hidden and are going to be released one every week, but you can read ahead if you have coins for it. The entire thing is completely free, available on Webtoon, but again, it's only gonna last for a month after this is finished, and then it's gonna go to daily pass. So this is gonna be a very fast read, because I think like every episode probably is going to take you 2 to 4 minutes, and this only has 100 episodes. And I know that sounds a lot. Again, if you're gonna read 2 to 4 minutes per episode, it's gonna take you about 400 minutes, 200 minutes, which is under 4 hours. So, which is probably gonna take you 2 to 3 hours, you know? So next one is Seasons of Blossom. This one is actually not finished. The first and second seasons are finished, but with the kind of format for this one is each season is going to be following a different main character. It's going to still be like in the same friend group, but it's going to be focusing on 1 or 2 characters' story. So this is a YA coming of age romance manhwa, and it's very, very cute. Okay, so the first season is absolutely adorable, right? It's so cute. Also talks about, you know, bullying and popularity, and there's amazing friendships formed here as well. The second season is heart-wrenching. The second season took my heart, crushed it, threw it on the floor, stomped it, and then set it on fire. But I still loved it. But I was crying a lot. So content warnings for the second season is suicide and suicide attempts. So be forewarned going into the second season. If you're very sensitive to that, don't read the second season, but it's going to be very heavy. But I really love the way that the depression was talked about and tackled in here, because I feel like it's very real to how depression can be for someone. Again, depression is going to show differently for a lot of different people, but for me personally, it felt very real, and I literally had to like take a step back from reading this manhwa because it became difficult for me to read because of the depictions of depression, all that, and like, you know, just the sense of hopelessness and helplessness was too real for me. So I had to take a step back. The third season is currently ongoing. I think there's about 5, maybe 7 episodes so far, but again, I do want to wait until the entire season is out. Okay, let's go to our mangas, okay? The first one is Sweat and Soap. I've talked about this a lot because I've read this manga at 2 like separate times last year. So Sweat and Soap follows the story of a woman who sweats profusely and works for this perfume soap company, and our love interest is a product developer, and one day he smells her and he gets very attracted to her scent. Like, he really likes her scent and asks her help to come up with like the winter line for the product because her scent gives him inspiration. And I know that sounds really weird, and usually mangas have, and manhwas even, have like really kind of far-fetched premises, but they work a lot. And the thing about this one is, although we started with like a really like weird premise, the couple, once they started dating, especially once they started to fall in love, they're so cute. This is one of the best relationships I've ever read about, like the best, healthiest relationship I've read about in any kind of book, novel, manga, manhwa, whatever. They're always communicating, like the communication here and consent and respect that they have for each other, and of course the love and care is like so wonderful. It's so wonderful. This is like, again, the best, healthiest relationship that I've read probably in any book or any story. Unmatched. And they're both growing as individuals and as a couple together, and I love the way that, you know, they work through the different hurdles that they have personally coming from themselves, but also from like, you know, their friends and in their work, and also their families as well, especially with the latest volumes. There's, I think, 11 volumes and they're all out. You can all read them. I'm kind of saving it because, again, I don't want it to end because it's so adorable and so cute. I'm up to volume 7, and again, just the couple, they're very cute. There's a reason why a lot of people talk about Sweat and Soap, but a lot of people only said that it's very cute, the relationship is really great, but it really is. It's great. It's healthy. It's one of the healthiest best relationships. I will keep saying that because one of the communication the consent, and the respect that they have for each other. It's amazing. That's why I really love this series. So and so. The next one is My Senpai is Annoying. I got up to volume 5 of this one. If you guys don't know what senpai means, it's like senior. If you're in school, this is someone who's a year or so older than you are. And the way you call a junior, someone who's a year below you, is kohai, or the years before you is kohai. And the same thing goes in work as well. There's a senpai and there's a kohai. Senpai are the ones that were in the company before the kohai. So this is a senpai kohai relationship. So the senpai is like this really like big bear, like rough kind of guy, but he was super sweet and super nice. And the main protagonist is this small, like she's small, she's really small, grumpy, new worker. It's a very slow burn romance for both of them. They are both adults, but we don't really get a lot of like any sexual anything sexual in here. So I would say this is more like an upper YA or NA kind of story. And again, it's very slow burn. Like even at the 5th volume, there's still, well, she's in denial of her feelings, and I think he doesn't know what he's feeling. And I think he does like her, but he's so unaware of his own feelings for her that it's it's really funny to read about, because she gets so flustered easily, and he's just this super nice, super sweet guy who always teases her, but always makes fun of her, but very much cares about her. And I don't know, their dynamic is just so cute. Each chapter is very short because it's kind of like super slice of life kind of thing, where you only get like different moments that they would just have in like a day or two, and it's very cute. It's very cute. The next one is Sesame Salt and Pudding. This is an adult romance. This is an age gap romance. The main premise of this one is the couple gets fake marriage, or kind of a contractual marriage, because the heroine's father wants her to move back to their province or their prefecture because he doesn't want her living in Tokyo alone. And the thing is, for him, unless she gets married and is with someone who can take care of her, then he will let her. So she was lamenting about this during one time that she was drinking at this restaurant, and she was drunk. She gets contractually married to this 40-something guy, and she's like I think she's 22 and the guy's like 42 or something. Yeah, it's a big age gap. We get contractually married. She wakes up, finds him at her house, and they kind of like agree to just be fake married for her benefit, but also for his, because he's actually looking for a place to stay. And it's like their slow relationship building. At first, they're just friends, but you know, they start to fall in love. They start to realize what they feel for each other, and again, it's so cute. And the way that the age gap really was handled very well. They work through it. They realized that their age gap could be a problem, but they both really like each other, and they both very much attracted to each other and care about each other. And they both work through the way the people around them won't see their age gap, but also their families, of course, especially her family. And again, the communication here is very good. This is a lot shorter. I think there's only like 3 volumes and this is completed. So again, it's very cute. Again, the communication is amazing. The way they just slowly, gradually, and beautifully form their relationship is amazing. So, Sesame Salt and Pudding. And the last one that I'm going to talk about here is My Dress Up Darling. This one is I want to say YA, upper YA, new adult. This is following 2 15-year-olds. It's very suggestive. That did throw me off in the beginning. There's no like actual sexual content on here, just very suggestive. So it threw me off a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. But what really made me stay with this one is because of the friendship that is formed here. So we are following a heroine who is this bright and bubbly character, and our hero is the shy, timid classmate of hers that secretly has this hobby, this interest of making henna dolls. We'll put a picture up here. I didn't put a picture last time, but I will try to put a picture up here of henna dolls. And so he makes and paints henna dolls and makes them clothes as well. They strike up a friendship after she asks his help for making a cosplay costume for her, and they form a friendship. They start cosplaying, and they meet these other people and form friendships with other people who are also cosplaying, and they learn more about cosplaying. And it has become more about like cosplaying and different ways people cosplay, the different kind of techniques that they use, even the makeup, the dress, or like the clothes, and even like the weapons, etc. that they have. It's very educational. And I really love, again, the friendship that they formed with the people that they meet and learn from cosplaying. There is romance in here, but at this point in the story, I've read up to volume 5. They're not in the same page yet. At the beginning, you can definitely tell that he's attracted to her, but he didn't know her yet. And then eventually, you know, they start forming a friendship. She realizes very early on, I think in the first volume, that she likes him, like she really likes him, like romantically. But he, I think, is starting to like her, but he's very unaware of his own feelings again. And I think he's also being dense, but again, I think he's just very unaware. Everything is new to him. He's learning a lot through cosplaying. It kind of makes him busy, takes his attention, and so he doesn't really fully realize what he's feeling yet. But again, they're very cute. The way they learn about, I mean, I'm learning a lot about cosplaying as well, and how difficult it is to cosplay. I mean, I knew it was, but it kind of like breaks it down for you. The different ways it can be like super complicated and very difficult to cosplay. So yeah, so those are all the manhwas that I read last year. Well, not all the manhwas, because again, like I said, I have 100 manhwas and all of them are ongoing. These are the only ones that are finished. I mean, Unholy Blood is the only one that I just finished. Seasons of Blossom, it's kind of like you would say like a companion series. So I actually am interested in doing like a separate video of the manhwas that I'm currently reading. And I really want to talk about like the top manhwas that I'm reading. I'm reading some that are not really like my favorites. I'm still reading because they're a lot of fun. But yes, that is it for this video. My throat is dry because I've been talking a lot, but also I also filmed my nonfiction favorites today. But yes, that is it. And also let me know if you're reading mangas and manhwas as well, and what you're reading. Also light novels down below if you want to let me know. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye!